Thank you. What I loved about that introduction that Joe just gave us is not telling you a little bit about our academic histories, our professional achievements. I liked the beginning of his introduction, where you could hear in his voice his sincerity and his commitment to this work. I am thrilled that there are more than 100 of you present in the room with us and virtually present with us through technology. I know that you're in offices across the United States, and there will be times throughout the PowerPoint presentation or my remarks or Claire Thomas's remarks that we will point out to you where procedures might vary or law might be different in the state locality. I'd like to say about this CLE that we are thrilled to have this law firm as a partner. You're famous for your tenacious litigation skills, your creativity, your force, your thoroughness, and our field needs you. This work with unaccompanied migrant children is an intersection of family law and immigration law. But it will touch upon, as you see as we go through the overview presentation, it might intersect at times with other areas such as poverty law. You might need to be assisting a family with some issues such as tax law, or there might even be criminal matters involved in the representation of the family, either because they were a victim of crime, as Joe described a U visa person, someone who's been a victim in the United States, or at times some of these youth that we represent do have problems where they may be in juvenile delinquency proceedings. It's rare, but it could happen. And it's possible in this representation you'll find that you're stretched to explore other areas of law. I like to say, though, don't be frightened of that breadth and variety. Relish it, because I, too, was a corporate lawyer for many, many years. And I think many of us, we build our expertise. Our clients expect us to perform at a certain venue, to really know the local practice rules of our state courts or our federal courts, to know the strategies of the federal rules of civil procedure inside and out. I teach civil procedure. We're going to challenge you a little bit to go outside that comfort zone, to go into both family courts and administrative agencies, where the rules often are non-transparent. So what's critical in our training today is that you understand this is an entry-level, getting started training, that we will support you throughout your representation with mentored support from Claire Thomas, from myself, from our other staff attorneys, from our other excellent mentor attorneys. For example, Joe had a tour of the immigration court by Susan Henner, who has her own practice in White Plains. Her specialty practice is immigration law practice. I recruited her at the very beginning of Safe Passage to be a mentor attorney, knowing that our project works best when you consider us your elbow clerk. We're there to whisper in your ear, guide you, help you, partner with you. Don't be afraid of taking this work on, because you'll say, I really don't even know where to begin. You're going to pick up the phone and you'll hear one of our beautiful, charming voices. Or we can hold office hours with you. And in fact, the interest has grown in pro bono, so now we're trying to schedule formal office hours, both in White Plains with Susan Henner's office and downtown at New York Law School. Virtual office hours are incredibly easy to do, and as well, if it was necessary, if your firm has a number of cases, we can come and meet here at the firm and have a roundtable discussion about where are you in your cases, what issues are you facing. For those of you who are from out of town, after today's training, I know Joe and I are going to be talking about how to best mobilize you as soon as possible. And believe me, I came with a list of research projects in my pocket. So there will be opportunities for you to get involved as soon as you all are ready. All right, you should be seeing a picture on the screen from a very cold day in March. It was freezing here last spring. And this is about maybe 20% of the number of people we brought to immigration court that day. The picture is outside the federal building downtown at the corner of Broadway and Worth Street. The building is called 26 Federal Plaza. That's where the immigration court is located here. That court has jurisdiction as far east as the tip of Long Island, and north, it should go only to Albany, but it often picks up cases beyond Albany. There is also an immigration court in Buffalo. They don't seem to have a significant number of these children's cases yet. But when the immigration court has jurisdiction that wide, It means that people living throughout our state need representation. Now, we appear regularly at the New York Immigration Court. There is an immigration court in Hartford, Connecticut, for example, and I know I'm talking to people in Florida. Last week, I had the honor of being the keynote speaker at the Broward County Women's Bar Association, where I spoke about this work, and I've been invited to come back to Florida soon to train family court judges as well as pro bono attorneys. So, Florida offices, get ready, we're coming. But immigration is a federal practice. However, the jurisdiction over the children's cases that we initially start with are here in the New York court. If someone lives in Connecticut, or someone lives in Philadelphia, or someone lives in New Jersey, their cases might be on the dockets of different immigration courts. So we'll talk with Joe about how best to get you mobilized and how to coordinate, but the presentation today is going to be telling you about the work we do with children who we meet because we meet them here at 26 Federal Plaza. And I may have just pushed the wrong button. Yeah, got it. All right, let's do a little bit. How did these children get here? Joe described a 4-year-old. How is it possible that a 4-year-old came to the United States? This is a picture that's taken from a documentary about children riding a freight train north from the Guatemalan border of Mexico up into the northern regions of Mexico. The train has a nickname. It's called La Bestia, the beast. Children die on this train. People fall off and are maimed. Many people lose limbs. People are raped on these trains. People are robbed. Both the police in Mexico and the gangs prey on people on these trains. The Mexico government also tries to offer some food and social services to people riding these trains. There is reports that after the large increase in children coming this summer, they're now policing the trains more thoroughly and trying to stop the train arrivals. But children are continuing to arrive. August is traditionally the lowest month. The numbers have fallen. I'll talk to you more about numbers in a moment. You may say, how could a 4-year-old ride on top of a train? Well, they may be with an older sibling. They may be with a professional smuggler. They may be with a relative. These are people arriving by sea. Some people arrive from the Caribbean region in the Florida area. You're familiar with the Haitians that come, people from the Dominican Republic, people from other islands. But people also arrive by sea across the Gulf of Mexico to Mexico and then enter through our southern border. Other countries face migrants arriving by sea. You may know that in Italy it was hundreds of people a day arriving this summer from the coast of Libya. Whether they arrive by sea or by train, they're generally apprehended immediately because we do have really tough border enforcement. This is a picture comes from the government website. We see a man holding the hands of 2 small children. I'm going to ask you, who is the man? Is it dad bringing his children across the border? Maybe. We have met fathers who have tried to bring their small children saying they're desperate. He couldn't protect them in the country and they needed to go. Could be a father that's been working here and is now returned to bring his children. And many people ask me, well, if the father's been working and living here, why can't they just get a visa? Why can't they come on a plane? Why can't they come regularly? Well, it has been the longest period in American history since we've reformed our immigration laws. And when I began practice in 1983, it would have been possible for a father or a mother who was working here to eventually be sponsored and to secure an immigrant visa. But our law since 1996 says once you violated the law, entered illegally, you cannot be rehabilitated. And so people have been trapped inside the United States, except in rare situations, and some people are trying to bring their children. But my picture of this man is he's a professional. He's a coyote. He's been paid to bring these small children to the United States. Sometimes that's a benevolent friend to the community. Other times it's a vicious criminal that will extort additional money once the child are here, holding them hostage in order to get the children released to their parents. And we see children who arrive by plane and have overstayed visas, not generally in the immigration court. We generally find them through our partnerships with social work organizations, and we do partner with one school in northern Manhattan. We help over 20 kids a year from that one school. Many of them came initially on somebody else's passport because we don't have tough forensics in our children's passports. Others came legally with a tourist visa or a visitor visa, and then their parents chose for them to remain. The cases we'll be primarily referring to you are children in removal proceedings.